Hello all. In this video we are going to today discuss about that introduction and analysis, that is a lexical analysis, which is a language translation. We used to call it as a language translation, and here we are going to study the subject regarding the compiler design. And in this compiler design, before going to know about what is meant by the compiler design, first we need to know what is a language translation and what was the input that we are going to take it out in the language translation, and what is the process that we are going to have in the language translation. So we will start today. In the language translation, we are having the compiler. So compiler is nothing but which is a software. Generally the compiler is nothing but a software or a computer program that transforms the source code written in the high level language, which is nothing but the HLL, high level language, that is like the C language or Java language or C++, anything that we can take it out, the high level language, and into the low level language. Means whatever the programmer is going to write the high level language, that is going to be converted into the low level language by the compilers, and that low level language is nothing but the target language, maybe the assembly language or the machine understandable language. Machine understandable language is nothing but the zeros and ones, which is a representation of the zeros and the ones. So the overall, the compiler, the work of the compiler is nothing but whatever the user program is there, that program has to be converted into the high level language to low level language. So here we have one example, that is a source language. Source language, I have wrote one program, that is a sum equals to 0 and for loop and count and etc. And now this source program cannot be understandable directly by the systems. So first the compiler, first it will read the source language and converts that into the target language. So the target language is in the form of, we said already, that is a assembly language. So the assembly language, already we are studied about the assembly language, that is nothing but which is in the form of the zeros and the ones. So here what is meant by the high level language and what is meant by the low level language. High level language is nothing but which is understandable by the human, because we are only the programmers, we are going to write the program which is understandable by the humans, combination of that English text or any numerical numbers, special symbols, everything. And a low level language is nothing but the machine understandable language, which is can be only understandable by the compilers, that is the machines. So here we have the basic structure of the compiler, that is in the compiler left side we are having that the source language, which is the input to the compiler, and the output to that compiler is nothing but the low level language. So whenever we are going to give the high level language to the compiler, so here it will execute the program. If any errors will be there, then there we are going to get the compilation error. If any errors will be existing in this high level language, then we are going to get the compilation error. So if we are not going to have any compilation errors, directly it will gives the low level language. So now we said that the source language is going to be converted into the target program, but between these gap, that is whenever the source language is converted to the target language, in between of these two things we are going to have the so many phases. So that phases are playing the virtual role in the compiler to convert source language to the target language. So now before going to take the different types of the phases in the compiler, first we need to know what is mean by the language processing system here. So what is mean by the language processing system? So here we have the phases in the language processing system, that is the 4 phases. The first phase we are going to call it as the preprocessor, and the second phase is a compiler, third phase is the assembler, fourth phase is the loader and the linker. So for the preprocessor, we are going to have the input as a high level language, as we said that the user is writing the high level language, which is nothing but the source code, whatever the C, C++, Java codes are there. So that is nothing but the high level language, which will become the input to the preprocessor. Now, so the what is the output to the preprocessor is, which is nothing but the output to the preprocessor is nothing but the pure high level language. And next, this pure high level language will become the input to the compilers, and which will gives the assembly level language, by the compiler, and that will become the input to the assemblers here. So here assembler will take the input as the assembly language and gives the output as a relocatable machine code. Generally here we are having the two different types of the machine codes, that is absolute machine code and one more is a relocatable machine code, that we are going to discuss in the next upcoming classes. And the next last one we are going to have the loader or the linker, and from that loader and the linker we are going to have the machine code. So this whole diagram will represent that a language, a processing system.